So my name is Ariana Prifty and I serve as the Chief Finance Officer for the School of Business. I've been working for Georgetown for about 14 years and I've served as CFO for the last 4 years.
Hi, I'm Kirsten Anderson. I'm an accounting professor here in the McDonough School of Business. I've been here for 21 years.
I'm Ellie Sweet. I'm a senior in the MSB class of 2022 and I'm majoring in finance.
My name is Donna Tenkate. I'm in the business school. I'm a senior here. I major in accounting and OPM with a minor in mathematics.
I'm originally from Albania and I've been here 21 years. I moved to DC to take the job at Georgetown. I was interested in higher education and I had looked at particularly the opportunity in higher ed because I wanted to complete a master's degree. And so that's how my adventure here started, and that was 14 years ago. I started as a financial analyst for the executive education department here at the School of Business, and it's been a beautiful ride ever since, and I now oversee the finances for the school. I had picked the executive MBA program as the top program that I wanted to pursue at Georgetown. It aligned very well with my background, with my future career interests, and at the time when I took the job I was very young. I did not qualify based on years of experience and how far along I was in my career, so I knew that it would not be an option. After a few years of working here and progressing into various roles and growing into those roles, eventually I was eligible. It also coincided that by then I was married and had a small child. When I originally expressed interest to apply in the executive MBA program, it was not necessarily welcomed by my then supervisor. It was perceived as it would impact my job performance. And I was very open about my experience as a new mom and how hard and what a big challenge it was for me and my husband to navigate all these changes on our own without any family around. I did not actually apply right away. I am not going to lie, I was discouraged from that answer, and I ultimately decided to wait another year and applied when my son was 2 years old and things had settled down a little. Not halfway through the program, 3 months into it, we found out we were pregnant with our second child, so it complicated things even more. Was it easy? Absolutely not. Was it a great experience and would I redo it all over again? Absolutely. I think we make do with what we're given and we always find a way, and I think there was a pretty good support system at work.
So I'm starting my 22nd year here in the accounting department at the MSB. So when I first started here all those years ago, there were very few women on faculty. We really had to stick together. So in a lot of ways we've really grown as an institution and as a school to a more gender balanced faculty. When I had my first daughter, who's now 19 years old, there was no official maternity policy in place for women faculty. So I had her on November 14th, taught until November 12th. I did teach the last day before I actually went to the hospital to deliver her, and then I was back in the classroom at the start of January with no breaks in teaching. So we have come a long way. Shortly after that, we did institute a maternity leave policy for professors.
Honestly, I haven't thought about it that much besides the times I've been asked about it, and I think that's something that goes to show that the MSB as a whole and also just the organizations I'm a part of have done a really good job of making everyone feel really included, and I think that the MSB, if anything, has really made everyone feel on a level playing field and really fostered a culture of collaboration and teamwork no matter your gender.
It is evident that there is a very different ratio from male to female. I think it's just something as a senior that I'm just accustomed to at this point. I think freshman year, it is noticeable. And it is weird walking into a classroom, especially when you're new and you don't know anyone and you walk in and you see it's majority males. I think it hasn't impacted my education. I think that can be overwhelming for some students, but at this point, 4 years later, I've just become used to it in a sense. I think the one time it really overwhelmed me was sophomore year when I was going through investment banking recruiting, and I went to a career fair and it was just almost completely male dominated. For me, it was very overwhelming. Other than that, it hasn't impacted my education or anything like that.
I think people are just more aware and they're more vocal, and we too have a platform to actually state these opinions. Perhaps maybe before that was one of the things that I didn't notice, that it was something that was not talked about and then you just accepted. But I think there is an active, I wouldn't call it movement necessarily, but everyone is aware of that. How many people do you have on your leadership team? What's the makeup of that leadership team? And we're here to talk about women in the business field, or at least at our school, but I would also add here diversity and inclusion in general, that's not being divided anymore as something that, are you a woman, are you a woman of color, come from a minority, whatever it is, that category. I mean, these are being now spoken a lot more openly about and actually even being demanded.
I think we've definitely evolved as an institution and in the business school. I think that's generally true across all universities. I'm on the admissions committee for undergraduates for the McDonough School, and I've seen it definitely increase in numbers for women applicants in relation to male applicants, which I think is great. Finance is one of the few majors we have here at the university that is more men than women. Typically, Georgetown goes the other way, but finance is so dominant within the business school, I think sometimes it still feels like it's a male-dominated school. However, if you look on paper, it's not. It's fairly gender balanced, and I really appreciated how far we've come. I still think we can do more. I still think there are people on campus, women in our school in particular, who might feel a little overwhelmed in some classes which are male dominated. I know that sometimes the tendency is for women not to feel comfortable speaking up in such a classroom, and I'd want to work on ways to improve confidence and to hear all voices within the school. So I'd like to continue the progress we've made in that area.
So I'm actually president of McDonough Women, which is an undergraduate organization across campus, open to all 4 schools. We want to create a community that helps undergraduate women who are interested in pursuing a career in business. As we all know, the business world is pretty male-dominated. It's getting a lot better, but I think especially in the higher level and the CEO level, it's still very male-dominated. We just want to provide opportunities to the women on campus to help them pursue a career in business. And I think a very unique thing about our club is that we are inclusive to everyone. Everyone that applies gets in. It is part of the Georgetown culture, the club scene and the difficulties of the application, especially in the business world too. Everything's very competitive. We just wanted to create a culture on campus that was open to everyone, despite if they have a background in business or if they don't. We just want to help them get into the business world post-graduating. So as president, I just generally oversee all communication between the board and the members. I also try to provide as many opportunities for our members as possible. I'm constantly looking for people that we can connect with and firms that we can network with. But in general, just kind of managing, making sure the club is running smoothly.
I'm involved in GUSIF, which is Georgetown's largest student investment fund on campus. We manage over $1 million on behalf of the school's endowment and the Alumni Association. And this past year, I've been honored to serve on the board as the president and COO, and that's been a really awesome experience, getting to kind of go from a new analyst and now getting to sit on the board and kind of come full circle and try to leave the club a little bit better than us as a board have found it. I would say don't be intimidated and try not to think about it too much. I think a lot of it is a mindset game in terms of there is literally no difference between your ability to be here versus any male's ability to be here. You're both here for a reason, and it shouldn't be a distinguishing factor. And so try to meet everyone you can, see them as friends, see them as peers to collaborate with, and it won't really be an issue that you ever really think about, honestly.
Be confident in yourself. Don't get overwhelmed. I mean, your classes will be male-dominated, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. That shouldn't put you down, I think, especially being president of my club, too, that wants to empower women. One thing we say is just, it's all about confidence. There's nothing that's limiting you, even though you are potentially walking into a male-dominated classroom. That doesn't limit you and your opportunities or your potential to succeed.
Particularly for female students, I would say we tend to think of, do I check all the boxes when we're looking at what do we want to pursue? Perhaps when looking at the list of criteria, maybe we meet 3 out of 7 of that particular skill set. Research too shows that women tend to say, okay, well, I don't qualify, so I will just move to the side, versus our male counterpart more open-minded and thinking if I don't know them, then I will learn them. And I think that mindset, perhaps we should talk about that early on. And I think that's what I would tell them, that, whatever you're reading, whatever you're seeing, whatever your dreams are, don't let anyone else limit them, and care, do care and stay relevant.
Use opportunities to learn, meet people, network. Don't say no to opportunities to talk to people. say no to opportunities to work yourself too much. You don't want to experience a lot of burnout, but don't ever say no to meeting people, talking to people, engaging with people.